Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Denise Owens, also a co-founder of Subco, um, community resident for over 30 years on 77th and East End, retired school teacher with over 30 years, and the treasurer of the organization.
All right.
My turn. Hey, Al Ryder. I am a right here, Sheila. Hey, Sheila, you got to mute. You got to mute, Sheila.
No, I think that's me. I'm trying to fix it right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I said Tuesday at 10. Yeah.
Sheila,
Sheila, you got to mute. Sheila,
Yes.
you
Yes.
got to mute. You got to mute.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
All right. Am I next or who's?
yeah.
Okay. Al Ryder. We're a bunch of different hats. Eighth Ward resident, Eighth Ward business owner, formerly of Alderman Michelle Harris's team. I'm here on both myself and for her to just listen. And that's about it. Been around this group a long time.
Yep.
Okay.
Reverend
Hey,
Dillon?
Reverend, yeah,
Reverend
did you
Dillon?
make it on the call?
And we'll be working with him because what we're trying to do is get you all to.
All right. Is that everyone?
Is that everybody?
Reverend Dillon's phone is muted, so
Oh, okay. Okay, well, we could get started, Saron. You can give an introduction
Hey.
about yourself and get started.
All right. It's a pleasure. Let me go back to the camera so you guys can see me. So first and foremost, it's an honor to be on with you guys. I count seconds, so having your attention for these seconds matter to me. My name is Cyron Smith, but everyone calls me Cy. Only my mother and a few other people call me my full name. So that means I'm in trouble when I hear Cyron. Grew up in two public housing projects, Cabrini Green on the north side and Jane Addams on the west side. Joined the military and the U.S. Navy in '93. Had a chance to travel around the world. I know I got a Marine shirt on. We carry the Marines to the fight, so I love our Marines as well. Married father of four, and just did something I saw on the U.S. Navy ship that I thought would work for our community, which was the most highly organized structure that I had ever seen. And what I saw on that ship is what allowed me to put together part of what you're going to hear about today, which is every single person. I was on a 3,000 person ship. Every single person on that ship had a role to play. And there was someone near retirement for every job, someone in their prime, and then someone like me, 19 years old, fresh out of boot camp, there to ultimately succeed and learn from those elders. So that's essentially what we've done in Chicago. I'm the founder of the National Block Club University, and the whole premise and purpose is the killing that we continue to see. 1981, I was 6 years old when I asked God to let me grow up and do something about the killing, because I saw white people jogging down Chicago Avenue and my family members sniping at each other. So I just knew it was not, it didn't go together. That one group of people was killing themselves and the other group was walking their dogs and having a good time. So that's kind of the origin of National Block Club University. It's headquartered out of Chicago zip codes. I live in Georgia and Gary, Indiana, though. And so that's in a nutshell. My wife, her name is Jamaica. She reupholsters furniture. She uses that as a tool for when you need transformation because of traumatic things that's taking place. So every time you do that furniture reupholster, you're taking out the old, putting on the new. So that's what she does. So we have a 1-2 punch. Me on more the block by block organizing side, her on the therapeutic side. So that's kind of who I am. And then Kim, you tell me the format, how you want me to flow with it. You want me just to present what we do, or you want questions and answers? Just give me a little guidance and then I'll take it from there. You might be on mute still. Okay. I'll wait for you to come back on. But in the meantime, so what I love to present to people when talking about this concept is we track the shooting and the killings every single day. Because we're by block, we go by zip codes because zip codes don't change every 10 years based on the census. So everything else changes. Your community name can change. You can get rezoned out when the census numbers come back. But the zip codes are controlled by the post office and they're not changing those. So we wanted to stick with something more solid, which is the zip codes. So in every zip code in Chicago, and I want to put this slide up so you guys can see it, we have a leader that we call the governor of the zip code. And so this person is in charge of all things dealing with that zip code from a support standpoint. So it's not someone that's elected or anything like that. It's pretty much the active person in the zip code who interacts with us and interacts with the 19 other zip codes. So we have a citywide effort taking place. So I'm gonna show you this slide here. It's a circle and it has some of the pictures of our governors by zip code. And I believe in interactive. So unless Kim come on and tell me not to do interactive, I love to get perspective to make sure that I can be answering questions, and that'll help other people who may not ask the question. So when you look at this, these are the zip codes here. These are the leaders we call governors and their picture. And then you see what we connected to them. So I want to talk about what's connected to every zip code and why. So every zip code in Chicago, which is our global headquarters, every zip code is connected to a different US city. Every zip code. So 60649, which is at the top there, is connected to Miami, Florida. And so the people in 60649, especially with Ray Shell, we have them interacting with the Black people in Miami. 60644 next to that one is linked to St. Louis, Missouri. So that is the South Austin community. They interact with our people in St. Louis. So as you can see, every zip code, 60617 linked to Kansas City, Missouri. So that's how it's set up. So through Chicago, 20 Black zip codes, we're connected to 20 different US cities. I do need to pause there because what I'm gonna give you next, I wanna make sure I answer any questions with this before I go to the Africa piece. Any thoughts on that connection point?
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How was it determined what cities each zip code would be connected to?
So I'm ashamed to say this, but I just put it all together based on kind of my military training, looking at operations, tactics, things of that nature. But it was done November 20 of 94. So it's like 31 years coming up this November. So it's it was me. So I want to say I was led by God, but I put it together, and you'll see when I talk about Africa, how I synchronized it together to make it make more sense. But it was, I put that together.
Okay.
So now every zip code here is linked to some other stuff, but I wanted to name the US city first. But here's why the different city was named. When you looked at the shooting and killings, Chicago, unfortunately, has been the epicenter. And so when you looked at the other 20 cities, it's the same thing happening. And so I didn't want to just approach this anti-violence with cliche stuff. I wanted to be real intentional. And for me, my personal life, it was the US Navy that let me travel to get away. And that's what ultimately saved my life, I believe. It allowed me to meet new people, see the world. And so I personally believe that travel is the missing element when we talk about the violence reduction in Black America. We can't treat the crack addict in the crack house. And unfortunately, whether we're talking about Boston, Philadelphia, you have great intention leaders pushing to make communities safer, but we're doing it in a contaminated environment. And so I tell people, the rich white people, when their kids on drugs, they send them away to Colorado, Boulder for drug treatment. And so the need to get away to travel is crucial. And so that's why we have every Black zip code in Chicago linked to a different city. We also linked every zip code to a country in Africa. So every one of these zip codes manages altogether 20 countries in Africa. And here's why that matters. Every other ethnic group in this country is tied back home. We have something we call HENA, which is heritage, ethnicity, nationality, and ancestry. Black Americans, FB, foundational Black people, are the only ones in the world that had all of that stripped from us. And so we're missing the heritage, which is our culture, way of life. We're missing our ethnicity, which is our language. We're missing our nationality. We're born here, but we know we come from somewhere else. And then we're missing our ancestry unless you go and get your ancestry done. So with HENA attacking our community, it's the reason why we see a lot of 84 years of us not being able to collectively move where we should be moving, because we're working against a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of people who benefit from seeing us stay exactly where we are. It's a lot of profit and pain based on my research. So when we talk about why Africa, it's so that we can begin to have a bridge back home, back to where all civilization started. And so when we talk about you being linked there, we do something real simple so it's not overly complicated. And it's called Pennies to Africa. So 60649 zip code is linked to Zambia in Africa. Zambia is on the east side of Africa. 60644, which is the west side, Chicago, is linked to the western part of Africa, which is Ivory Coast. So you can see now, Gwendolyn, I think that was Gwendolyn that asked the question. It makes sense when you look at it. The west side of Africa is linked to the west side of Chicago. The east side of Africa is linked to the east side of Africa. So that's kind of where that part came from. Now, we also have every zip code linked to one career profession. And this is a little bit more confusing, but I'm going to tell you why this matters. So I'm going to tell you the top three, what professions they're linked to. So 60649 is linked to all branding, sales, and marketing. So all the people who are able to influence you into doing something. So 60649 keeps the list of all our marketers, children that want to become marketers, retired marketers, or salespeople. 60644 is linked to all our lawyers in the whole city of Chicago. So they keep the list of our west side lawyers, south side lawyers, east side lawyers. Then 60617 is linked to all our teachers. So we got Gwendolyn on here who's a teacher. So that's linked over there at 60617. They keep the list of west side teachers, south side teachers, east side teachers. So that's the profession. I want to stop there and get y'all thoughts on that part, if you don't mind. You guys might be on mute. Uh-oh, we still have everybody? Let's see.
And we're back. Okay. Question. So when you say list, keep a list, what's the list? What's the purpose of keeping a list of these different professions? What does that mean?
I'm glad you asked. So if we go back to what I saw on the Navy ship, I was 19 years old, and I one of my roles was I was an operations specialist. We search for submarines. So you had a 50-year-old submarine searcher. So he's going to retire soon. So by me being 19 coming in that role, I'm gonna learn from him before he retires on out.
Mhm.
So the list is designed for what we call RAID, retirees, adults, and youth. So that way the list will ensure that the retired Navy people in your zip code knows the youth that's just joining or thinking about joining the Navy in your zip code and elsewhere. So RAID, retirees, adults, and youth, is why we need the list kept, so that we can have a database of block by block, the people, what they do for a living, what stage in their life they're in, retirees, adults, or youth. So then the younger generation will have access to those retirees, which we found to be more freer than the adults, because the adults have to still move carefully because they're still employed. The retirees can speak truly and freely because they're secured. So that's the difference between the retirees and adults, is one is freer to give you unedited impact or information compared to the one that may have to be politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
So did that answer the question, sir?
So give me an example of how that actually works. What is the list? I'm still a little.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the purpose and what does it do?
So let's just take, it's 20 zip codes, right? So let's just take the barber list, the barbers list.
Okay.
We have 20 barbers identified, one barber in all 20 zip codes. Yeah, one barber in all 20 zip codes. That barber is an adult, they're not retired. So any child in your zip code, if you're in 60649, say, I want to be a barber.
Mhm.
Now, when they get in touch with the leadership, they can say, here's the barber in this zip code or that zip code, so you can get that mentorship that you're looking for.
Mhm.
So it's all about do you have the database, and then can people access the database to get whatever it is that they're personally trying to do.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay.
So now, and it's the same with Africa. If you right now tell me that your family is in Kenya, because of this database, I can tell you who the retired people are, the adult people and the youth in Kenya, and you can connect with your people there because this network, this database is very strategic. So
Okay.
to me, the list is everything because as we know with information, it's the liquid gold now. That's why you constantly see people trying to gather your information, unfortunately for profit. So we needed something that's gathering our information, that's going to be creating a village where we're there for each other, we can support each other versus trying to profit off of each other.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for that question. We need that.
Sure.
So now every zip code being linked to that profession, let me tell you what I've seen in my 30 years of doing this. We have a lot of silos as a Black community, a lot of people doing pockets of what we're doing. And the benefit of that is you get more intimate with the people you're working with. The downside of that is when it's time to do something collective, you're all broken up in pieces. So this allows us to do something we call, it kind of forces us to be interdependent on each other. Interdependent, not independent, we need each other. So, all right, sorry. Someone was calling me. Can you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Okay, so we're interdependent. We call it RTI, which is giving us reasons to interact with each other. A lot of the blocks that we work with, they have trouble with the interaction part. And we believe with this Ray concept, it gives us a reason to interact. So we got some people who saying the elders are telling the young people, pull their pants up. Don't be sagging your pants. So the beauty with Ray is if that 80-year-old carpenter is telling that 16-year-old boy that want to be a carpenter to pull his pants up, it's going to mean something more. You as an 84-year-old plumber, they might not even want to listen to you. So by having Ray, it gives us a reason to interact, and it gives us a reason to be able to kind of guide people because you know they are aspiring to be where you are. So those two things is a benefit that we see, and we see it every day when we're connecting people, and they got a little bit more respect for the people they're being connected to because they want to aspire to be there. And feel free to jump in because I know it's a lot of information, you guys. Okay, so if we cool with that, so every zip code is linked to a country in Africa, a career field is linked to a different city. So that's the global aspect. Now, this gets a little bit more complicated, but I'm gonna tell you guys why this matters. How do you manage something like this? And so the way we manage something like this is by ensuring that everyone has a once a month, we call it duty day, but the once a month is really an audit day where you audit how things have been since the last 30 days. So every single one of these zip codes have a audit day. We call it duty day, but just it makes more easy to understand audit day. So 60649 audit day is every fourth Saturday of the month. So that means we know we won't go 60 days without checking in and getting an update. How many people transitioned that lived in the zip code? How many people moved into the zip code? How many people retired in the zip code? And all of this information is coming because of the interconnectedness. So in your zip code, when we hear a person from North Lawndale just moved to South Shore, that's information we have because of our connection. And then we can update Rachel Lindsay, hey, you got a new person that just moved into 60649. I want to pause there, get y'all thoughts on that. Anybody? Okay, so if you look above those chairs, and those chairs representing you have a seat at the citywide table. So y'all zip codes have a seat at the table. And this is where we found that only the city council in Chicago is structured this way, where the whole city meets in terms of leadership once a month. I mean, every Wednesday. So this allows our community to have a seat at the table that's strictly non-political. It's all about community, Black people pulling together, doing for self. So that's what the benefit of this roundtable is. And so they do this, we do this sit down with all the zip codes once a month as well. And then every one of them zip codes, it's a different audit date, and that audit date is above the chair. So you see the 4 there and the S, that's the 4th Saturday I just spoke about. When you see 60644, you see the T there and the 4, that's the 4th Tuesday. So those are the dates when we update all the information on those days that you see listed above each of those chairs there. Any thoughts on that?
I got a question. So as I look at these zip codes, these are pretty large areas. And since I work in government, it's 6061749. Now these are huge areas with hundreds of thousands of folks that live there. Who collects this data? How does this data collected? How would they know
Yes.
if Ms. Johnson moved or he has a grandson in the house? And who collects this data and how is this data? Yeah, how's it collected? And who does it?
Perfect question. And I can tell you in government.
I am.
So
I
watch
am.
this. Let me put this up so you guys can see the rotation, and this will help. So perfect question, Mr. Ryder. Let me put this up so you guys can see it. It's called the 7 daily living habits. The 7 daily living habits. So you guys are about to see this right now. So this here is our core values here. So this is what we live every single day. Forget the title Mississippi up there. You could put South Shore up there. You could put a zip code. The habits stay the same. So I just want to go through it real quick. Every Sunday is family day. So on Sundays, personally, we're having conversations with people about succession planning, getting family members together who may not all the time get along. Monday, safety day, we asking people to check their smoke alarm. Look up the zip code sex offenders. Tuesday, we looking at what's your favorite subject as a 9th grader, what's your worst subject, connect those dots. Every Wednesday, we is our boycott day, economic day. We buy Black, we support Black businesses day. We also make sure people know about the economy and how to save, invest, things of that nature. Today is health day for us, so it's about how do you be healthier. Tomorrow is our Senior Citizens Day, so we have a Zoom where all the seniors get on around the country and go over issues that's relevant to them. And then Saturday is Youth Day. So this information is happening every single day. Today, we're going to be hearing from people about whether it's some people trying to gain weight, lose weight, some people trying to stop smoking, and whatever information we gather, we gotta have a zip code. Like that's all of our people have been trained. In our phones, we got the last 2 digits of your zip code next to every name because we constantly track the information and store it based on the zip code. So what do you think about that, Mr. Ryan?
Okay, I got it. Question: What is the ask of a block club? What do you ask? What is the requirement for, say, subcode? What would be the requirement from an organization like yours?
Well, perfect question. So the quick answer is we want to service you, so not the other way around. Our design, the way we're built, is to be an asset to our people. So that's it. What we want from all our people is $1 a month. That's what we want from it's 40 million, 46 million Black people. We want to see $46 million a month coming in. That's the raw expectation that we want to have. And however long it takes, so be it. But that way you got that. And we made sure that we didn't contaminate anything else. So that branding is clear. We are the 4 quarters a month structure. Been like that for a long time. Through inflation and everything, we stick to that because we want people to know when we collectively pull together the dollar, the sky's the limit where we're going to go collectively. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and so how do you communicate with these individual block clubs? And these are block clubs on multiple blocks within these zip codes, correct? Are organized block clubs if they have them, right?
So it's not block clubs, and that's why Kim wanted you guys to meet us. So what we do is by zip code and block by block. Zip code for the macro, and then the micro is block by block. So here's how to better make this make sense. So on the block, if it's 83 people on the block, think
Mhm.
about everything I said. We want to know what are the 83 professions? Because once we know them professions, they get tied to a different zip code, even though they live in your physical zip code. If they're a teacher, they're going to get tied to 60617 so they can gather all that information going on citywide with teachers. If you got a carpenter on your block, he gets tied over to 60609 with all the other carpenters. So it's a matter of us facilitating the flow of information based on your zip code and what you do for a living. So what we ask for everyone is the $1. But the key is that we want you guys to use this as a resource, use this as a process so that you have access to like-minded people.
But who's collecting the data on those blocks? Who's
Yeah.
actually gathering that information? I'm sorry, Denise. Who's actually collecting that data?
All right, great question. So we have something called AD, TD, and OD. So AD is the administration department, and the administration department mainly is headquarters, me, for now. We don't want it that way, but that's where we are now. The TD department is the telephone department. So I just share with you, every Friday, the seniors are on the call. So the lady in charge of this citywide, her name is Terry Graham out of Marquette Park. She's collecting the data from the seniors on Friday. All right. Then the last department is the outreach department. That's actually going out, knocking on doors, boots on the ground, going to events, Bud Billiken Day Parade tomorrow, things of that nature, and they're gathering information that way. So we gather information those three ways. One is more in-house administrative, one is telephone or Zoom, and then the other one is boots on the ground. And the information comes from everyone. It comes from you. It's literally everyone, because every piece of information goes somewhere, and where it's going to is based on those zip codes and what role they play. Does that help?
Okay.
Well, I have a question. This is Denise.
Yes, Denise.
Okay, in terms of collecting this information, the boots on the ground said this is being done block by block. So this,
Uh-oh, you're breaking up a little bit, Denise.
pardon me?
There we go. It was breaking up.
Oh, okay. So it would seem to me that this would require even like a survey to be put out on the block to find out what profession you're in and to collect all of this information, some sort of survey.
You know, Kim has been a master administrator to me. She when I first met Kim, I put her in the AD bucket and she didn't even know it, administrative bucket, because she'd be on it. So you're absolutely right. Survey. We don't want to, we have a generic survey, but we want to tailor make. We want the blocks to tailor make because we don't want to step on the toes. So you tailor make it. You take what we have as a survey and then you can tailor make it for your block. But let me give you just this little cautionary tale. We had on the west side of Chicago when we first got started. He was an elder, and he was really the one-man block club. He had his two other people to justify his three people to be legally structured. But no one on the block liked him. I just say it that way. We got a good relationship with him, but the rest of the block didn't because he was a type A, you know, kept everything close knit, especially the young people couldn't stand him. But anyway, on Saturday, we take the children out of town, different cities, trips, things of that nature. And because they had played basketball late one night, he said none of the children can go. So you see the conflict this creates. So here he's saying, as the block club leader, founder, that the children individually can't go out of town. And let's just say the parents wasn't having that, their children went out of town. So we try to stay free because we don't want to create contention on the block, but we are more individual based, but we go block by block, and zip code is where we house everything. But it is up to each person what degree they participate with this structure to benefit their personal life or you as a block club. So with you guys, I would say the biggest benefit would be access to the information, volunteers for what you're doing, events you have coming up. Just everything about us is based on the schedule. So we just got to schedule it and then we'll be able to support it. Does that answer your question, Denise?
Somewhat, okay.
Which parts I can give more?
Well, because in terms of reaching out to people, question is, I see some, um, people are very personal and private about their lives. So,
Mhm. Yep, yep. But let me show you this. This will help with that. So this here document that you guys are looking at is personal. It's personal. And it's right now not asking you for any information. It's not asking you for any information. However, if anything on this one piece of paper interests you, you're going to probably want to know more information, right? And so this is how we are somewhat we don't engage you for your personal information. We share with you what exists, and it allows you to tap in. So a lot of people tap into us versus us going out to recruit them. So right here, if you look at this month, August, anyone that's into politics, so I'm already hearing Mr. Rioters, that might pique his interest. Hey, Si, hey, I want to know what's this with the political convention. So now, whether he's in the block club or not, he want to know personally what's going on politically. I'm speaking for you, Mr. Ryder, but you get what I'm saying. So once he get that information, he can come back to the group and share what he learned with other people that's in politics, military, karate. So every month, it's a bunch of other stuff happening that would give people on the block a reason to want to know more information. What do you think about that, Denise?
okay. All right.
Okay, wonderful. Let's take that down.
So,
So now,
oh,
oh yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so let me ask you, you mentioned benefit. What is the benefit to an organization like Subco, if you know much about them, but what is the benefit? How does this benefit an organized group like them who already are
Yes,
connected to the community with multiple blocks?
yes.
What's the benefit to them?
Big time, and multiple levels. So let's first start with information. No, it's superior. Like no one has all the information all the time because the minute you get it, it changes. Someone move on the block, they move off the block. Like it's almost next to impossible to have all the information at the same time because it's always fluctuating. So having more data points to gather information is good for everyone. If not, then you'll be one-dimensional gathering your information, and that makes you more limited. So I think having a network where Mr. Ryder, you can call, say, hey, I want to know what's going on in my mother's zip code in North Lawndale. That's a benefit to you personally. Hey, is it a rapist running loose in South Austin? That's a benefit. You can call the city, but the streets are going to give you a different perspective than what the official police would tell you. So that's how I look at it.
Okay.
Information is king, you guys. Information is king. And I want to show you this too. But I want to make sure there's no other questions before I show you guys this next slide because it's going to open up more questions. Any other questions you guys have?
Nope.
Okay, so here we go. So now what you're about to look at now, it's what the tangible benefits are if you are a parent of a school-aged child. So this, for anyone that don't have a school-aged child, grandchild, this might not be as relevant, but I want y'all to see it. Okay, again, forget the title up there. This is for every block. You can put your block title up there, whatever. So what this is us merging our business community with our students. So let's just go right here and zoom in. So I want to show you guys second graders. So within our structure, all corner store owners worldwide are asked to commit financial support to the second graders. All firefighters to the second graders. All people that love fishing, like they real anglers, and all people in martial arts. So when they meet us, if you tell me your auntie's a martial arts person, or like Larry Tankston is in 60649, the conversation with Larry Tankston is, brother, we need you to support the second graders in your zip code. And hopefully he say, okay, I'm down, let's go. And now that means you guys benefited from Larry Tankston's support as a martial arts expert in that area there. And that's benefiting you guys, not us. But it's the way we're organized that allow us to have a conversation with each person, find out their interests, and merge it into support systems. So I know it might be a lot of questions here, but I want to show y'all third graders before we get to questions. So you see restaurants under third graders. With this concept, all restaurants supporting third graders. And we know that the government looks at third grade scores to determine prisons. That's been highly documented. So just imagine, as the restaurant community get on board with this, how just going to eat at a restaurant,
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I lost my screen here. Let me pull it back up. So just imagine eating at a restaurant and you're helping to keep prisons from being built. Because all over Black America, our restaurants are financially ensuring that the third graders have additional support to make sure that they don't struggle read math, science, and so forth. So that's kind of a benefit of this level of organizing. And right next to each one of those businesses, you see Ray there, retirees, adults, and youth. So that's how on your block you can see how many retired restaurant owners on your block. 0, 2, 3, 4. How many adult restaurant owners on your block? So that's kind of how this version helps out. What do you guys think about that?
Personally, I think it's a great idea. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
To start connecting with children on yeah,
Yeah, it's something with your phone. It keeps going out. But I heard you say it's great.
huh?
There it is. Okay. Yeah, it's going out, but I can hear you now.
Okay, my question is, it seems like it would be a great idea to connect with the local public schools with this as well. Has that been done?
Our main, I'm glad you asked the question. So we really believe in a do for self model. It is the premise of everything. So anything dealing with government, we tend to take a step back. We'll support the locals doing that because what we've seen is that the government been a problem in our community, not a benefit. And what I mean by that is a lot of things that is policy, Blacks are pushed in the back. We call it the Rosa Parks. So whatever the policy is, Blacks are going to be put to the back. When you go to the public schools, you got this red tape, you got this big barrier, you got to jump through all these hoops. By us being block by block, only the post office and census bureau have access to people where they live at. And so we mirror that model. So we feel like, and we got a database, all 13 grades here, because of us interacting, talking to you, you telling us about your auntie in South Holland and her children. So we found that to be much more seamless, easier, and it comes with the vote of confidence if you tell your auntie to talk to us. So that's what we found versus the red tape of going into the governmental structures. Does that answer your question?
Well, somewhat.
So we're not opposed to it. So if you guys say you want to go into school, I speak in the schools personally. So I do go in there, but I don't bring this to the schools because again, it's a whole vetting process that unfortunately we found to just slow things down instead of add value right away.
All right. Thank you.
Let me show
Hi.
you guys a benefit.
Hi,
Oh,
this
go
is
ahead.
Sheila. How you doing? This is Sheila Phillips. I'm just wondering how how is this made manageable? That's my thoughts.
Thank you for
Because
that. That is an
yes,
uphill battle.
yeah, because it's all good, but there's so many components,
Yes.
and the reaching out and like it had been mentioned, just for people with their personal information. Some people don't even want you to hardly come to their front room, okay? much less give information on how old they are or
Yeah.
even where they come from or what their
Yeah.
job is had
Yes. Yes.
been. So it's
Yes.
a matter of just kind of condensing it into a workable model that, we
Yes.
are a little older, so things have to be more succinct, so that you can manage it and not be in a million meetings and
Yeah.
all of,
So
all of that.
So the way you just said, how do we manage this? So we have something that I personally feel is one of the greatest inventions for us as a people. And what it is the broken clock theory. The broken clock theory. No matter what happens, a broken clock is right twice a day. Just because not what it did, but because time is moving, whether we like it or not. So this invention is saying that what if we only bug people twice a year? Not twice a day, like the broken clock, but twice a year. twice a year is only every 6 months. And so if it's every 6 months, now people should not be tired of hearing from us. They should not be burnt out. They should not be ready to say, leave me alone, because it's been 180 days. So this here, if you see the alphabets for the last names up here, A, B, C, D, and E, those people, we only bug them, engage them in January and then July, twice a year. So you just asked, how do we manage this? We manage this by using A to Z last names, so we could be very intentional and deliberate about when we're gathering information, engaging people, asking them to do something, financing what we do. So this month I showed you the red ones, which was F through K last names. This was last month in July. So those people last name Davis, Ellis, Caldwell's, Barters, we're not bugging them again to January of next year. So that's how we manage this massive global structure, is by keeping that last name system intact, so we don't burn out us as an administrator or you as a resident with constantly being asked to do something. You don't have to worry about that with us.
I got a question. What does the money amounts mean at the bottom of that document?
I'm putting it back up for you. So $1 a month is just know that's the root, $1 a month. So just know that's the base. So every other amount after that, we doing different parts to it. We call it the loans. It's called LDI to be exact. LDI stands for loan, donate, invest. LDI, loan, donate, invest. I'm about to pull this back up so you guys can see it. But first, let me show you this here, because this will show you guys what we just talked about. And we're going to come right back to LDI. So this is how we manage this. This is what Sheila was just asking about. We call it the stress relief switch, because we know time is crucial. Everyone is busy and you're hard to get 1,000 meetings. So with this switch, based on your last name, it's only every 6 months. So that we not stressing you out. We know because it's is every 6 months. So this shows you A to Z last names and when it's their turn. And so that means these are the times when we're going to engage you. So I already know if Thanksgiving, someone get hit by a car and we need someone to go to the hospital and see them, we know it's going to be the Smith, Sanders, Taylors, Underwoods. We already know that because it's their turn. So this gives us forever predictability. So we know whatever money it is, we can address it, because as we're meeting people every second, every day, we're knowing what 2 months out the year we can engage. So this just adds more context to what we just talked about. Now I'm gonna get back to the money part. And if you guys, what we're doing right now, just so y'all know, we wouldn't do this with everybody, because people check out after the first 10 minutes of talking to us. So they not even hearing the rest of it. So we do it through the daily living habits. That's the main document for the average person. So we'll just come to a economic event or a Friday with a senior event. We'll just pick one of those 7 habits and focus on that, versus I'm giving you guys a really overview over the whole thing. So Brother Ryder just asked about the dollar amounts at the bottom. So all the way on the left, you see the $1 there. That's the anchor. That's our anchor there. $12 is also the anchor. You see the 12 over there, Mr. Ryder?
Mm-hmm.
Those for the people that say, man, I'm not going to be bugging every month. You bugging me. Here go my $12 for the year. So just know that that's for the more people that don't want to be bothered as much. They pay the 12 for the year, be done with it. But then we got people who do it every month. The other green one, you see $1 times 10. So what that is, that's for people who might have sons and daughters who won't do it, but they're going to pay for them for a certain amount of time. So we do have people who sponsor their children because they're not mentally there with this community stuff. So they'll say, hey, my 4 daughters, here go my money. And up to 10 people we do that for. So that's the 3 greens. The 2 reds, the 2 red boxes you see there, those are loans. Those are loans. And I'm going to show you a clip on the people that do the loans. And the reason they're loans is because we believe that the key is getting a lot of people to do little, not the other way around. So we reject bigger money. We got people who try to come in and donate bigger money. We say, no, donate that to these non-for-profits in your zip code. So we've been very intentional for 3 decades, not taking big money and redirecting the big money to the non-for-profits, boots on the ground, that's actually doing the work.
So this money is, so wait, stop for a second. So this money is being collected from who? from
Uh, Everyone. So this is everyone.
everyone you interact with, whether you're knocking on the door, whether you're part of the subco group or not, including subco, but everybody you engage in
Yeah.
on your block, you're asking for $1 or $10?
Not $10, the $1. We want to keep it if 1 to 12. So yeah, the 10 is a special circumstance if they want to pay for their family and friends.
And then what's the money used for again? A loan, you said? What's the money used for?
No, oh no. So I'm glad you asked that. So I'm gonna put this up so you guys can see it. 46 million people. That's the goal. So in order to do that, that means that's all Black people in America. So we do want to get that. If we reach it, fine. If we only get half, that's 23 million. So here's what the money is designed for. We call it HAT-TM. Housing, that's what the money is for. Awards, that's what the money is for. Travel, that's what the money is for. Training, this is what we're doing here. So the money is for. And the last one is manpower. So every single dollar is designed for the HAT-TM. Housing, awards, travel, tours, and training and manpower.
Mm-hmm.
All the money, everything we do, that's our budget. And I'm about to show you the slides so you guys can see that too, because we're very transparent. We track the pennies to Africa, so we can tell you where every penny go with the way we're structured. And so when you say what's the travel, picture this right here. So this here is our national database of all our 16-year-olds. Well, part of what we do when we take children out of town is so that they can be exposed to something else, like the Navy let me be exposed. That costs money. When they travel, we stay in a hotel. That's where the housing budget come in at. The training is ongoing, and then the travel is the biggest expense. We rent vans and vehicles, and we go on the road, and we go to these 20 different cities that we're linked to. So that's what the money is designed for, HAT-TM, and that's forever. So we want to always see these travel trips. We want to always make sure people getting exposed. Does that answer your question, Mr. Ryder?
Yeah. What's your budget? Who keeps this money? Who holds this money? Where's this money go? And what's the structure?
Yeah. Yep. So I'm the treasurer, just like Denise is. So just so you guys know, we operate every year. $15,000 is our budget. Not our budget. It's what I'm gonna spend. So for the most part, I pay for this and been paying for this. I'm almost 400 grand in the whole 30 years doing this. We're against grants. We are against grants. We do not take grants. We're against big money. We do not take big money on purpose. The reason it's set up this way is so we have no barriers connecting with our people. And then we don't compete with our partners. So we've helped kids off the block get money. We've helped we've helped our people that's organizing. Some of their leaders started out with us. And so we want to see them get the finance. We want to see them get the funding, because our philosophy is every single person. So we don't want the big money. We want the big money to go to our people on the ground doing the work in every zip code, all over the country too. I'm about to show you the financial.
All right.
But go ahead while I'm looking.
So who makes that decision? Since it's such a big, from what I can see, who makes the decision where that money goes for that particular group,
Perfect
organization, youth, makes that decision?
Perfect question. So is everything comes in and stays in the zip code. So that's how we stay totally free from any politics, if you will. So if South Shore raised $1,000, it should be, I say, about 700 spent in South Shore. Of course, you got administration; it costs to run the whole structure. But this is last year, you guys, right here.
Okay.
Any thoughts, questions on that, you guys?
This is your entire budget for the entire year 2024?
The whole global structure. So that includes Africa and everything. $9,000.
Okay. Okay.
So, Mr. Wright, I know you deal with millions, so this ain't millions yet. We getting there, but this ain't there yet.
Okay. No, it's fine.
But let me say this to you: it's probably quadruple that. What you see is 9,000, because I'll give you a perfect example. Reverend Taylor, he's a plumber, so all plumbers are linked to 12th graders. If y'all saw that. So when it's his twice a year, he sent $100 directly to the 12th grader that's been selected. That don't hit our books. We facilitated that. We didn't touch that.
Mhm.
So when you guys tell us it's a 12th grader worthy of being recognized, we're gonna have that conversation with the design, which in this case is the plumber supporting your 12th grade. So we deal with a whole lot more money in terms of facilitation, but that is a pass through. We're the facilitators, not the takers, if you will. The money we take is going to be for these operations here.
Okay. Okay.
Let me show you guys this one here too. So this is what it looks like, what spending money looks like. So these pictures are hard, but those are people at the bottom there. So this month is F through K last names. It's every February, and 6 months later is F through Ks. So if you see that, those are the people who attend this summit that we do. The summit is the audit, the once a month audit for everything we do for the whole globe. So these are the people A through E last names, not all of them, but a lot of them. That's what we invited out. LMNO last names is every March and September. PQs and R last names is every April, and 6 months later, October. Every May is my last name, Smiths, all the S, T, and U's. And then we just V through Z is every June and then December. So the people you see here are the people we know we can count on because we're not burning them out. Any thoughts on that one? Yeah.
Well, hello,
Uh,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, this is Denise. So, so you've
Thank
been
you,
in
Denise.
business for, you say 30 years?
Yep, 31 years is coming up here.
So, what are the statistics? I mean, in terms of the number of children that have been benefited,
Yes.
you know, what are your statistics like?
Yeah, no, so that's I appreciate the question. Here's how I respond to people with that question. We can't put a value on a relationship. Some people do, but we don't. So for instance, a mother had her 16-year-old son who's starting to, wear bandanas. And because every Tuesday we're on the west side, what we did was we looped him in. And the way we did that is something we call partial allowance programs. She was giving him $100 a month. We added 100 to that. So he was going to get $200 a month to come with us on Tuesdays so that he can be doing community work instead of hanging out with his guys. So he's a truck driver now. This is, probably 10 years ago. He's a truck driver now, traveling around the country. He also was going to Birmingham, St. Louis, Detroit. So we believe that because he was not hanging out with his boys, he was going door to door with us. He got his $100 allowance. His mama made him do it because she wasn't going to give him his allowance no more. I had to give it to him, but she gave it to us. So again, how do we statistically measure that? What we will say is that any people that come across us, they will give you their personal interactions with us, whether it's the senior citizens on Friday that's lonely and now they have something to tie into and things of that nature. So because we don't do the grants, we don't go by that methodology of having those stats. I would say we got 6,000 people in our database. We don't get we don't even get 1,000 people donating $1. So from that standpoint, the people don't believe in us, but the people you see on that picture there, they do. So when I look at the numbers, I tend to judge them a little bit differently because it's with us all about personal relationships and linking people. One guy, he's a roofer. He got a $10,000 roofing job from us. He won't donate his $12. So from that stat, we lost, but I don't consider it loss. Maybe down the line, he'll come around and see that he should donate his $12, especially when he got a $10,000 roofing job. So what do you think about that, Sister Denise?
Okay. Well, I can understand that. I do have another question.
Yes, yeah. This is healthy. I appreciate it as long as you guys have time. So.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the zip codes, you said every zip code has a governor. Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So what is their role in terms of reaching out to maybe the alderman's office or the organizations that are known in the area as well as schools? How is that working out?
I think you said, because it broke up again, you said work with. So right now, 21st Ward Alderman Mosley, we're going to be sitting down because he heard about it. He likes the concept. So we're about to sit down. And our goal, what we want to see come out of that is his name on the top of those 7 daily living habits. We wanted to say 21st Ward, 7 daily living habits, just like you saw Mississippi name up there. And if he puts his name on that and he promotes that, then we know the seniors are going to have their day. We know the youth are going to have their day. We know the businesses are going to have their day. We know that the education going to have their day. So we want to see all the aldermen adopt this concept, because that's really all it is a concept, but it's a unifying concept. It's a sharing concept, you know. So that's what we want to see all the aldermen do.
Yeah, yeah, that was part of the question was the governor of the zip code. How are they reaching out, not just to the aldermen, but as well as to the schools in the zip code, to the organizations in the zip code? What has been the outreach from?
Yep. Okay, so let me say this, and that's a deep question. Let me break this down so you know where we come from. So there's 5 components of information. So the first one is acquisition. So information acquisition comes from every single body. Everybody holds information that can help us. So reaching out to gather information is you at a bar, you at a party, you wherever. So information acquisition is one. We hope everyone will help with that. Information processing is what I handle that, because once you get this information from everyone, it got to be put in a format so people can use it. So once you get through with acquisition, then you deal with the processing. After you process it, where do you store it at? Storage. Where do you keep that information? That's where your governors come in at. The governors allow me to have a place to store your zip code's information. What information? The 7 daily living habits. What's happening with 6049 families that we know about? What's happening to 60649 safety that we know about? What's happening to 60649? You see what I'm saying? So those 7 habits, which are the core values, information that we acquire, process, is shared back to the zip codes, and that's what the audit day is, that once a month duty day. But also information then has to be managed. When our retirees transition, then they actually become an ancestor carpenter, an ancestor nurse, an ancestor plumber, and we make sure that the youth know the shoulders they stand on. So that's where the management information goes too. It changes. Someone moved from one zip code to the next. So management, I handle that too. So that way we don't have a bunch of different data points. So I manage that part too. And then the last 2, once you manage the information, then you got to be able to share the information. And so the sharing is what I believe you're speaking about. How do we gain access to this? And this has been our biggest problem, because we are there back in the day when ceasefire would go out, would stop the violence, stop the killing. We've been out there doing that, but you see, because they got the branding and the money behind them, you see the stop the killing signs. You see them leaving the window signs. Our team is out there with them, and they're going on the porch. So while they're marching down the street saying, stop killing people, our volunteers are on the porch getting people's name, address, how many children, they're getting the information. And unfortunately, because they're vulnerable, because of the murder, the shooting, whatever happened, they share that information willingly. Now, some zip codes we go in, they don't share the information willingly, but just know during those times where someone else is getting all the visibility, we're out there too, but we're not looking for visibility. We're looking for information so we can tie it back in. So that those information acquisition, processing, storage, management, sharing, that's what we do behind the scenes all the time. Does that help, Denise?
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So I guess the point I would make to you guys though is, as a group, the key is, how do you guys tap in? So right now, if you guys need a plumber or a carpenter, you know now that we have that database. So you got my direct number, you can immediately start calling. And you call the number 24/7, you can give it out to anyone 24/7. If we don't pick up, we'll call back. But just know you're empowered with that right now, because it is a block by block structure.
I got a question. One more question. 2 things I want to follow up.
Come on, this is powerful, Mr.
Oh
Brown.
yeah. Go ahead. All right. So question. So I wanted to follow up on Denise's question. So you're saying that as far as measures and goals in terms of your impact, you don't track that. You don't have the impact that and the measures and goals that you typically come with, like you said, a grant. But how do we know? How would they know the impact one way or the other if you're asking them to get involved? And the
Yep,
second
yep,
question is, well, the second question is, so you're
yes.
asking, so you mentioned database. Would you be asking this organization to plug in their membership to a database? And how do you communicate to that database? Does this governor call one person and then they bring everybody together? Or are you asking to plug into your database all the folks on this call's information in addition to the folks that they come in contact with?
So no, we do not want you guys to plug it in collectively. It should be done individually. The purpose of the collective, which I think was why Kim wanted you guys to meet the founder, is to hear directly from the horse's mouth.
Mhm.
But what should happen after this, Mr. Ryder, when you and I talk, I'm gonna find out your auntie is in Greenville, Mississippi. Okay, wait, we can link them with someone down there. So it has to be personal that you release the information to us based on what we're telling you that network can do for your people and wherever they are. So we
Mhm.
don't want the group to send it over to us because we don't match a face to who's
Mhm.
behind the information. So it
Mhm.
should be personal. We want it to be personal. And that's partly why it takes so long too, because of that. But it's cool. And then the second part was what was the second question? Sorry.
About in terms of measuring your success,
Oh
how do
yeah.
you measure that? How do we know? How do they know what
Yeah.
kind of impact you're having if you're asking a
Yeah.
group to get involved?
Yeah. Perfect question. So the summit is the accountability, you guys. The summit. So the summit is every fourth Saturday of the month, and the summit is when we had to account for everything done in the last 30 days. So that's how much money came in, how much money went out. That's how many people we helped on Monday Safety Day, how many Black businesses got help. So the accountability is done once a month. So that's the answer to that. But by your zip code, your accountability is based on when your zip code audit day is. That's the purpose of the audit. It answers those same questions, but specifically just for your zip code. So like today is 60629 Marquette Park. So today at 7 o'clock, we'll be on the Zoom and we got to give them the update since the last month. And so that's when we be accountable and they ask questions. What about this? What blocks didn't participate? Who,
Mm-hmm.
so that's when we get into that.
Got it.
And then we get pictures from our students who win money. So
Mhm.
that's kind of your proof, if you will, when you see the
Mhm.
young people who benefited. And
Mhm.
that's kind of how people know, okay, my money wasn't wasted. So this
Okay.
is a picture from the Alderman Mosley's meeting I went to, and that's how I met him. One of his block clubs was 88th and Parnell.
Mhm.
We only known them 2 weeks. We only known them 2 weeks, and on June 21st, they got $160 from us.
Okay.
165 I see down there. So $165 from us. They had 13 graduates on their block, y'all. 13. Like we never had that before. All our years, we never had. So $160 ain't nothing. But hey, you just met us. You haven't put $1 in, but this is the point. They inside our zip code. They in zip code 60620. Now we didn't raise $160 in donations from that zip code, but in this case, I made the executive decision. And the key with that is I justified it by making sure the other zip codes was decent. So the zip codes in her region, 60620, 60621, those areas there, they was okay. So we was able to move that over there, get the pictures from the graduates there, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, eighth grade. And this not all of them, but this is the money we could afford. And so this is our proof. This is benefit right here to us. And we got these pictures throughout the 30 years. What do you guys think? Y'all might be on mute.
This is Sheila Phillips. It all
Yes,
sounds good, but what would a group like Subco, what would you have to do? I mean, how do you get started?
I thank you for that. Kim, are you there, Kim? Because I think Kim should answer this
Yes,
because she
I'm
really
here.
know. So I think you should answer that for Sheila. Why have you stuck with us since you met us? Because I think personal testimonies speak more volumes than hearing me say it. But what have you gained any benefit? Like, what has been your personal experience?
Well, what I've gained from it is learning the people in my zip code. I've learned that we have a U-Haul company. I've learned the companies that are in our zip code that we may not have been aware of. And and meeting the people in the other zip codes that are doing different things that we don't see, but they're doing those things. They have people in Woodlawn that's doing things. They have people in Austin that are doing things. So it's like a underground activity of work that's going to benefit us as a community. So I like the fact of plugging into that. And I'm one of those people that I'm not going to pay $1 a month. So I pay $12 a month. Yeah, I pay
She
$12 a month
not
because I
what
A
that,
spend that
year,
but be
for,
careful saying
$12
that,
a
Kim.
year.
Well, no, what Kim,
oh,
that's what I was about to say. What Kim do is what we
Uh-huh.
call out of this world. Like, we don't promote that. Kim is just extra special like that
sorry.
because we want to make sure
Uh,
people know it's $12 a year.
yeah.
Well, it's
Okay.
$12 a year, but I do it a
Mm.
month because I like to use my money for good. And I can give McDonald's $12 a month. So instead of giving McDonald's $12 a month, I give the organizations that's benefiting our people. And I like the connection that they have to the South because I'm from Louisiana. So my zip codes in Louisiana can be connected to cities in Chicago or Detroit or wherever the other places are. So I just like the connection that you get, knowing that you're connected to something bigger than yourself, and it's for our people. So that's what I really like about it.
So you could
So
do this individually. You don't have to do this as a group. You could
No,
just
it's
no,
do
no,
all individual. Yeah, it's all
no. It's an
individual. Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
uh-huh.
So like I said, Mr. Ryder might have family in Greenville, Mississippi. So y'all don't care
Uh-huh.
about his auntie in Greenville. We do because that information helps in Greenville. So everything is one-on-one personal. We tailor it to you, but you can see all the connection points where things can be tied together
Okay.
at. Now,
Okay.
these people
Okay.
here are your resource. So on the left side, these people are right now ready to talk to you. So you got at the top Jackie Harris. Anyone that needs help from kindergarten through third grade, she's going to be the person that can let you know what's going on, what opportunities are out there, what subjects they may need help with, if there's a remote tutor that can help them. And then you see Danielle Liddell, 4th through 6th grade, Evan Credit, 7th to 8th grade. So I just want y'all to see this is a resource individually for you guys to tap into if you need to.
And I will say too that I have a friend that lives in Hammond, Indiana. And, she's a single lady. She doesn't have a lot of resources and she needed a mechanic. So I was able to call Cyron to tap into her zip code to find a mechanic in her area to help her, and it's somebody that he knows. She may not know, but he knows, but she knows me. So, it's a
There you go.
connection that way. So it's a way of connecting people that may not be connected. I mean, we're all connected, but everybody's not connected the way we are.
I tell people it's the Black Census Bureau, but with action. Census Bureau just take information. We take information and we add value by connecting you to people who can help you with whatever it is you're working on at that time. So those Wednesday, that's the education people over there, y'all. And all the people you see there, the way we do this, because they're not staff, they're volunteers. You come through that phone number at the bottom, which is me, and we talk, and then I link you over to them. So that way they don't have all these people calling them, and it's their private personal number.
Well, hey man, I apologize. I had to jump off, and ironically, the meeting's with Ronnie Mosley. I gotta get on with this Zoom, right? That's wild. That's wild you mentioned him. But hey, I gotta jump. I
Excellent.
apologize. Thank you, brother, for having me on. Thank you, Subco. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And I will be in touch, man. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. I sound pleasure's mine. All right.
Thank you,
That's
everybody.
good.
Okay.
See, I
Okay.
connected.
Bye
We already
bye.
Okay.
got
Bye
it. Look
bye.
at that.
All right.
He's already connected, so that's perfect.
All right.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot, guys. Okay, goodbye.
Okay.
Excellent. So yeah, you guys, this just all the rest of this would be details, but you got the frame. The frame is every single person. How do we make certain? We call it layers of support, LOS. How do we give you layers of support? It's personal. What you guys do as a group is based on your agenda, but this is a reinforcement to whatever you're doing individually or as a group. So if you guys having a barbecue next Saturday, we're going to look and see which F through K last name people we got in your area. We're going to ask them to come out and support it. So that's how, as a group, you can tap into the network. We like to know in advance so we can make sure it's scheduled, but that's how you can benefit group-wise. All right. So I think that is a lot. What do you guys think? Any more information the next step, I think, is Kim and I should talk next, because Kim, what I would love to hear once you guys have your one-on-one meeting is worst case scenario. I would say this is the worst case scenario. It's not the first what we would love to see happen, but the worst case scenario is based on y'all last names. We would like to at least let you know what's coming up from our profession standpoint. We call them conventions. So right now we got the military convention coming up this weekend, and you guys can tap into that if you want to, but at least you got that information on what's coming up, what grades are getting the award money, what Black businesses we're supporting each month. And that at least puts you in a position to make a decision if you want to tap into that or not. That's the minimum, ideally, you guys letting us update you on that. The pie in the sky would be everybody donating their $12 a year or their $1 a month, and having a conversation so we can go deeper in terms of where else we can make connections to help support whoever you have, wherever they are, that we can add value. So that's my presentation, you guys.
Okay, well, thank you. This
Thank
is
you.
Sheila Phillips. Thank you so much.
This is
All right,
Denise.
superstar.
Thank you.
And
All
this
right.
is Gwen, and thank you, Kim, for pulling this together.
Well, thank you for everybody attending. I really appreciate it. So we see we got other stuff going on in the community.
And everyone eventually would get that trip to Miami, which I believe most of y'all is in 49 to be and tour the 49 network.
Yeah, we're in
Ex-
Fort now.
Exactly.
Yep. So that's good.
I think it'd be a good idea for us to meet, maybe not today, maybe at a later time, to go over what was discussed today. This is Gwen talking.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
And
Thank you.
it
Okay,
is
sounds good
recorded, so
to
you
me.
guys can have this too.
Okay,
And you're going to do the
okay,
record.
thank you.
How are we going to get a copy of the recording? Kim-
We record it on YouTube for data storage
Oh,
purposes. So I'm gonna send you guys the link.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
everyone. Be safe.